and I am an SLPA who makes videos for other SLPAs, but I am also a mommy to a 15-month-old, almost 16-month-old baby boy. So I also make some speech content for my mommies. Now today I'm sharing with you all that my son is getting close to that 18-month mark, and I find that he's really just now transitioning into that one nap per day, which is great. I didn't mind the additional naps, it's fine. However, I've noticed I just can't get it all done. You know, my chores, my little errands, clean up the house, do what I need to do. I can't get it all done in his nap time. So his nap time will typically range between an hour, maybe 2 hours. It's never really 3 hours. He just does that one nap right now, and then he won't nap until, or go to sleep until it's time for him to go to sleep. So I can no longer maximize, you know, my time, like my personal time. I don't really work to do that in his nap time anymore because it just doesn't work. What I have found is that I now really need to include him in our day-to-day activities, you know? I'm just sharing with y'all basically some hacks that I have found, you know, kind of maximize my time with my son, but I'm also really engaging him throughout the day in what we do. So if you're interested in that, then this is definitely the video for you. My first kind of tip is what I just mentioned, is including my toddler in my day-to-day activities. This includes, you know, from when we wake up, I do take him with me into the restroom, you know, to get dressed. I have him brush his teeth. I do this really to have him see what I do to get ready, so he understands this is what you need to do to get ready. I also include him in things like cleaning up around the house. He can follow simple directions, you know, give me the blanket, pass that sock to me, I don't know. So if I'm doing laundry, if I'm picking up his toys, I really try to include my toddler. And for the most part, he, you know, follows the directions and he can participate. The next thing I have started to do, which is amazing, I don't know why I didn't do this sooner, it's a very simple thing, which is setting timers. I now, for example, if I'm going to clean up our living room really fast, I used to spend like 30 minutes cleaning up our living room with toys and stuff, because once my son gets involved, he typically likes to make more of a mess, or he'll play with things that he's not supposed to. He'll dump out the boxes that I just cleaned up. So I set a timer, maybe 10 minutes. I try to do 10 minutes because then it speeds up the process. I'll put 10 minutes on our Alexa, or I'll put it on my phone. Now, another thing is I always have my Apple Watch with me. I'm in no way saying you absolutely have to have an Apple Watch. I use different things throughout the day. It's just I find it easier just to look down, set the timer, or put it on my phone, and then it immediately links onto my watch. So my watch will actually vibrate once the timer is done. But that kind of keeps us, you know, on task. It gives me a little bit of pressure to get it all done super quickly. I find that this really maximizes the time I spend with my son. Cleaning up in the past used to take such a long time, and then I'd kind of beat myself up over it once my son was asleep. I'd be like, oh my gosh, I spent half of my day cleaning. I didn't really spend time with him. So we all know that mommy guilt really can get to us. So putting timers, I have found, really helps me. Number 3 is a little bit odd. Well, maybe not. Maybe you can relate, but I don't do the dishes until it's time to cook. Of course, I clean up the kitchen once it's bedtime, once the kitchen is technically closed. I make sure everything's cleaned, and of course, dishes will go in the dishwasher, or I'll hand wash them and then put them away, whatever. But during the day, if I am not working, and if I'm spending a whole day at home, I don't typically wash the dishes right after we eat. This is just because after I finish eating, my toddler is typically really hungry, right? So I have to feed him immediately. And what I've done in the past is I'll feed him and I'll clean while he's eating. But then by the time he's finished, it's time for me to eat, and I can't really enjoy my plate. So now I don't do that. That's why I just clean while I'm cooking. So let's say, for example, I'm making, I don't know, chicken and veggies. Then while the chicken is cooking, or while the veggies are roasting, or whatever I'm doing with them, then I will use that time to start doing dishes at that time. So I'm now cleaning the dishes from breakfast time, and I'm putting them into the dishwasher, or I'm hand washing them and then putting them to dry. That kind of eliminates that process, like it's all in one. I like to do the dishes while I am cooking. The next thing is childproofing. I think this is really important. Not everyone will agree, and I understand, but I do make sure, you know, the drawers are closed and I have like this sort of child lock on them. And I make sure the doors in our home are closed for the places he can't get into, right? So we have, for example, the restrooms. I make sure those are completely closed, because if I leave them open and my son is out of my sight, he's probably going to get into something that he should not be getting into. So if I'm just clearing like all those spaces that he can't get into, then when I'm doing things like cooking and he leaves, I know he's completely safe. I have locks on the appropriate things, that he can't get into, and then I have the doors closed. So if he leaves, he'll leave for about a few minutes and then come back. But I'm not there having to leave what I'm doing and go immediately go get him. I know that he's safe. Another thing that I do is now I prep snacks. So some people might think this is very obvious, but I used to not do this. I used to be a person who would kind of buy out of convenience. So I would buy baby or toddler snacks, and those were doing good for a while, but now my son really enjoys fruit. So I have to buy a lot of fruit when we go to the groceries. And I've talked about this before, but I immediately cut the fruit at that time, because that will save us from having to kind of drag it out. And like, if my son wants strawberries, I know that they're ready and they're pre-cut, because in the past, when he's wanted like a kiwi or something, it's like, I have to now cut the kiwi. So it would be like a convenience thing. I would just give him some chips or give him some goldfish. And I no longer do that. I actually prep his snacks and I put them in containers for him to already have ready to go. Now, lastly, this is kind of talking about my self-care and then how I have my son do his own thing. I utilize his crib. So this is mainly for the morning and mainly for the nighttime. If I'm waking up, obviously I have to brush my teeth and do my thing. Sure, some days I'll have my son with me, but if it's a day that he is just getting into all of the cabinets, I put him in his crib, and he knows it's in no way like some sort of punishment. He actually has his preferred toys that he plays with in his crib. So if he's trying to climb on the crib or showing interest that he wants to go into the crib, then I'll place him in there kind of for about 10 minutes. This is when I put on my timer and I do my thing. I brush my teeth, I do my makeup, I get dressed, all in that 10 to 15 minute time frame. And another thing that really helps me is showering the night before. I used to be a person that would shower every single morning. And then once I had my son, it's kind of like that couldn't always happen. I still do it here and there, obviously, when Nathan is home and when he can help me out a little bit. But if it's just me, then I am showering the night before, because that's kind of my time to do my own thing. If I need to include more self-care time or something, like a facial mask or a bath, that's my time to do that. That's all I have for you all. I included a lot of tips, that I try to do every single day. This is what is working for us right now. It doesn't mean this has to absolutely work for you, but as he's transitioning into that one nap per day, it's just harder to get a lot done, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video. So if you did find this helpful, please make sure to give my video a like and subscribe to my channel as well. It'll mean so much to me, and I will catch you all in my next one. Bye.